In the early morning, Sven wakes his daughter Charlie to watch the live broadcast of the descent module landing with their neighbors. The module is bringing back Sven's wife Paula from the International Space Station. On screen, the capsule appears but fails to deploy its parachute. Hadi inside urges Paula to press the button to release it, but Paula hesitates until the very last moment. The capsule lands safely in Chile, where they are greeted by Indian billionaire Moody, the mission's financier, known globally for her philanthropy. Sven and Charlie return home, but that night, Sven gets a call from Paula, who reminds him of her impending arrival and unexpectedly confesses that she now understands their daughter's strategy in a game they play together. The next morning, father and daughter head to the airport, where they join others waiting for Paula. They are surprised by news of a flight delay. Charlie notices an odd old woman waving at her, but Sven advises her to ignore it. Later, devastating news arrives that the plane has disappeared over the Atlantic. The waiting families are given hotel rooms. While putting Charlie to bed, Sven reads to her about a message sent into space describing Earth, humanity, and its place in the solar system, but with no reply received. In the morning, search teams find wreckage in the sea, but the fate of the plane remains unknown. Sven prepares to leave with Charlie, but they are stopped by Moody's sympathetic assistant, Nora. At night, Nora gives Charlie a souvenir from Moody with a note that reads, "Death is only the beginning," which leaves the girl puzzled. Meanwhile, Sven goes through Charlie's notebook where she has recorded all her conversations with Paula. Paula had shown Charlie the orbit of the space station before leaving, and they communicated using an old radio transmitter and unused channels. The narrative then shifts to the past, where Paula explains to the astronauts that their mission is funded by Moody, who aims to find a cure for death. Paula hopes their cell experiments will lead to breakthroughs in stopping aging. In the present, Sven receives a voice message from Paula, reminding him of their plans on Street Nicholas Day and urging him not to argue with Charlie. Confused, Sven realizes they never made plans on that day, and he never argues with his daughter. He rewatches the capsule landing footage and notices discrepancies in the time shown on Hadi's watch compared to the overall time, suggesting it wasn't a live broadcast as claimed by the media. Sven tries to contact Reiner for explanations, but Reiner is unable to clarify anything. The next morning, Sven hears the TV and realizes Charlie knows everything. Detectives arrive, asking him to listen to the final recording from the plane, revealing that Paula and Hadi were in the cockpit sending cryptic messages. The mystery deepens. How did they get there, and why? Returning to the past on the station, Paula hears a child's voice clearly through her headphones, repeatedly saying hello. She wakes Hadi to listen, and he advises her to keep it a secret for now. Later, Paula and the astronauts unsuccessfully try to catch the signal again. Paula notices something moving under her skin but keeps it hidden. She eventually decides to share the signal discovery with the other astronauts, attempting to play the recording, but it turns out blank. Hadi jokes about it and questions her mental well-being, reminding her of past mental health issues. He advises her to rest. In the present, Sven visits Hadi's wife, concerned that Paula's episodes may have resurfaced and caused the plane crash. Hadi's wife wonders how Paula was cleared to fly if she had such issues. Paula, still on the station, sees movement under her skin again and cuts her arm in an attempt to stop the perceived infestation, only to realize it was an illusion. Sven searches Paula's apartment and finds a large number of pills, suggesting she had stopped taking her medication, making the psychosis theory plausible. The next morning, journalists and families of the deceased gather outside Sven's house, accusing him of being complicit in Paula's actions. Charlie spots the strange old woman from the airport in the crowd. Sven tries to disperse the crowd but faces insults and accusations. Meanwhile, Paula contacts Moody about the signal, convinced of its reality and feeling guilty for hiding her illness, which may have endangered others. Moody offers reassurance and advice on managing her visions. In the present, Sven recalls how Paula entrusted him with her medical history and allowed him to decide whether she should fly. He burns the hospital documents. The commotion outside subsides when Sven sees Nora covered in red paint and called a murderer by the crowd. Nora admits to Sven that they might be right and gives him a signal keychain to contact Moody instantly. As Sven escorts Nora out, he hears Charlie scream from inside the house. Worried, he rushes back to find Charlie, who claims Paula just contacted her. Concerned for her sanity, Sven takes away the radio transmitter from Charlie. Meanwhile, Reiner calls, suspecting a cover-up, but the call gets cut off. Sven takes Charlie to Hadi's wife and hurries to Reiner's house, where he finds a folder suggesting Paula had discovered an extraterrestrial object heading towards Earth. On the station, Paula notices numbers under her bandage and realizes they are coordinates where aliens might land. Back in the present, Sven returns to find Charlie missing from Hadi's house. After returning home, Sven files a police report and searches for Charlie's belongings, finding a notebook with the name of the place where her mother supposedly waits for her. Meanwhile, Charlie reaches a remote farm and is taken by someone. Sven starts packing, but detectives stop him on his way out. On the station, Paula suddenly asks her husband about the fox and hare game, teasing him about her strategy of looking into the future to win. In the present, Sven questions the detective about the anomalies following the capsule's landing and shows them Raynor's folder. Back on the station, Paula causes a minor accident, and while others are occupied, catches the signal again, learning the time and coordinates of the alien landing site. In the present, Sven deceives the detectives and heads to the indicated location. Paula tells Moody everything she has discovered, but Moody advises keeping it a secret, believing the world might not be ready for such revelations. Meanwhile, Sven arrives at a house where he encounters the strange old woman. She quickly finds a beacon in his car and sends it away on a pigeon's leg before leading him to Charlie. The woman had been communicating with Charlie via radio, pretending to be her mother. At the same time, search teams find the black box and broadcast the recordings of the passengers' final moments. Amidst the chaos, Paula's voice emerges, asking Sven to take care of Charlie because she won't cope alone. It becomes clear Paula is not to blame for the crash. The old woman shows them the signal recording Paula found. She explains she's an amateur radio enthusiast who listens to old communication channels hoping to discover something interesting. Sven shows her Raynor's folder. Meanwhile, detectives discuss what they've learned from Sven and follow up on Raynor's calls. They discover the flight was delayed not because of technical issues as claimed by airport staff, but because someone checked in but didn't board, leaving their bag on the plane. Sven listens to Paula's messages and realizes she wanted him to make her discovery public. Just then, they spot a returning pigeon carrying the bug, realizing they need to flee. The old woman offers them refuge in her bunker, but Sven and Charlie refuse. They attempt to hide in the forest but are captured by the military and taken to a camp. In the past on the station, Paula confesses to her partner that she knows about his actions and promises he'll never catch the signal or learn about the aliens' landing date and location. In the midst of their pursuit, the detectives learn the name of the passenger they are searching for and rush to find Sven. However, Sven's phone is confiscated just as they attempt to warn him. Later, their car is rammed by another vehicle, halting their search. Meanwhile, Sven and Charlie are brought to a large tent where they meet Raynor. In the past on the station, Hottie demands the coordinates from Paula. When she refuses, he locks her in a compartment and cuts off the oxygen supply. In the present, Raynor dismisses Sven's hopefulness, stating that if the government has decided to act, they will destroy any alien ship without investigating their intentions due to fear of the unknown. Suddenly, an alert sounds and Sven and Charlie escape outside. In the past, Paula gives in and provides the coordinates and time of arrival. Hottie releases her, unaware that she had activated communication, sending her message to Earth. Back in the present, Sven and Charlie witness the bombing of the supposed landing site, horrified as a massive mushroom cloud rises over the Earth. In the past during the landing, Hottie asks for forgiveness, revealing he's merely a pawn in a powerful game. In the present, the military releases Raynor, Sven, and Charlie as events have already unfolded and the secret is out. They return home where worldwide protests are reported on TV, but the irreversible action has been taken. That night, while putting Charlie to bed, Sven notices a mark on her arm. In the past, Moody meets Paula at the landing site and admits the decision to destroy the alien ship has been made beyond her control. Paula confesses she gave false coordinates. In the present, news reports reveal there was no object at all. The military bombed an empty area. Sven asks Charlie to show her arm, realizing these are the real coordinates. On the day of the landing, Paula confided in Moody that the true coordinates are in the family's possession, hoping to reveal the truth with the billionaire's help. In the present, Sven and Charlie realize the military will come for them once they learn the truth and begin to flee. A neighbor aids their escape, giving them her car. Just when it seems they've gotten away, a large truck catches up and forces their car into a ditch. Sven presses the signal button before losing consciousness. They awaken later in Moody's house, where over dinner, the billionaire confesses her deep admiration for Paula's intelligence and reveals her belief that the arrival of aliens could positively alter world history. She expresses her commitment not to miss the opportunity. Charlie then reveals the real coordinates. The story shifts to the day of the landing. Paula answers journalists' questions while keeping an eye on Moody, Nora, and Hottie. Suddenly, she confronts Hottie, questioning if he's a pawn and who the queen is. In the present, Moody, Nora, Sven, and Charlie fly to the supposed landing site by helicopter. Sven receives a message accusing Moody of having blood on her hands, which he forwards to Nora. She immediately informs Moody that Sven knows who blew up the plane. Moody apologizes but stands by her decision, driven by her desire to secure a place in history. Sven is horrified, realizing 178 lives were sacrificed for fame. On arrival at the site marked with torches, Moody walks to the designated spot and kneels, but nothing happens. Sven recalls Paula's strategic mindset, planning 2 steps ahead, which enabled her to win. In the past, Hadi apologizes again and gives Paula a gift from Moody. Inside, Paula finds a note saying death is just the beginning, echoing what Hadi received. They both understand the deception. Moody also realizes she's been fooled and asks Charlie to show her arm, confirming the coordinates. She shoots Sven in the leg, but before she can harm Charlie, Nora hesitates and refuses to follow the order, protesting against the unjust cruelty. Moody orders them to board the helicopter, but Nora shoots her mistress as they leave. During the chaos, Paula's voice repeats that Sven and Charlie need each other to succeed. In the present, Nora asks Sven and Charlie to wait until Moody leaves and departs, leaving them unharmed. Later, Sven recalls Paula's last words, realizing Charlie knew the coordinates, but he received the correct time encoded in the message by his wife. 3 months pass and news reports Moody's arrest for orchestrating the planned explosion. Nora, who helped capture her, confesses and cooperates with the investigation. The pair returns to the supposed landing site where a structure crashes nearby, revealed to be the human probe sent into space long ago. Charlie removes the cover and nudges the playback head, which was stuck on the first word. This explains why Paula heard only one word. The space agency suggests that someone sent the probe back to Earth, signaling that humans are not alone in space. Standing by Voyager, Sven and Charlie suddenly see Paula reaching out to them, as if conveying that her sacrifice was not in vain. She hopes it will inspire governments to cooperate and explore space for the benefit of humanity as a whole, rather than for limited personal gains. The miniseries concludes on this poignant note, highlighting Paula's legacy and the potential for humanity to unite in exploration and discovery beyond Earth. Make sure to subscribe to keep watching more recaps like this.